Hi, my name is Amy Mazzi and I'm with Centurion Boats. And today I'm going to take the opportunity to walk you through the all-new 2025 Centurion Ri230. We get asked a lot, what does RI stand for? And it's stood for different things over the years. Relentlessly innovated, revolution innovated, reimagined. But this year, I think it's really incredible. This Ri230 is really incredible. Let me show you why. The Ri230 has a very distinct look from the beginning, from the first time you see this boat at the bow. It has docking lights on the front that are extremely bright. They're actually 4,800 lumens a side, 2,400 lumens a light. It also has a lit Centurion logo on the nose. This modified V bow looks like nothing else on the water, even coming at you. The 2025 Ri230 is a 23-foot boat, but it is available with so much customization as it is part of our flagship Ri series line. So you can get this boat just about any way you want. This particular boat is a Warrior Edition. What does that mean? It allows you to choose gel coat colors a little bit differently, also to accent some of the exterior pieces of the boat. As you can see with this Roswell vent behind me, you can choose between 18 different colors that apply to this vent as well as all of the other vents on the boat, including the A-pillar on the windshield. So you can really tie the color scheme that you choose for your Ri230 into every piece of the boat. Also, as a part of the Warrior Edition, you can choose your base color on the hull different from your base color on the deck. This gives you even more customization ability on the Ri230 Warrior Edition. And to add another layer of customization to this particular boat, you could choose, as we did for this model, the Warrior or Salute to Service wrap. You can see behind me, it's a mixture of stars and stripes. It's got our Salute to Service logo in it, and it looks beautiful. It almost looks like it is part of the gel coat itself, which is, to me, the true beauty of this wrap. Well, let me correct that. The true beauty of this wrap is that a portion of the proceeds we receive go to service charities that we support. And that way we can honor our servicemen and women and first responders that sacrifice in order for us all to enjoy the lake lifestyles that we do. As we move further down the profile of the Ri230, you start to see even more and more cool looking stuff on this particular boat. One of the things that we love to showcase is the all new vents by Roswell. They are all over this boat, and this particular vent has another significance. It is ram fill, and ram fill on this particular boat is almost half of the 5,400 pounds of ballast available in the Ri230, and it fills in 90 seconds. So think of it this way: 2,500 pounds of water flooding the ballast areas of your boat in 90 seconds, so you are ready to surf in no time at all. And ram fill is standard on the Ri series this year. So you get an Ri and you're getting the functional convenience of that fast filling ballast no matter what. You also have the beauty of the vents themselves. Roswell produces these vents for us in the United States, and they go through a process, a chem film process, that is a 6-stage preparation process for the metal itself, so that the paint that we use to color these vents adheres to it for years to come. It's an extensive process, but as you can see, the beauty is undeniable. So one thing that is unmistakable about a Warrior Edition Ri230 for 2025 is the Predator Power Tower. This tower is like nothing else you've ever seen. But not only is it beautiful and does it go with the lines of the Ri230, it's extremely functional. How it functions is really cool. What it does is it uses linear actuators, 4 of them, to raise and lower the tower while keeping the 9-foot bimini parallel to the floor. What does that mean to you when you're in the boat? Essentially, you can adjust your shade with the sun angle. So at any angle of the sun, you can move this tower up or down to make sure everyone that needs to be shaded in the boat is. It is extremely practical and great to use. The other thing that you can do is you can tow a rider at any height of the Predator Power Tower, and you can tow it on a trailer behind your tow vehicle at any height as well. So if you want less wind resistance when you're taking a long road trip, lower the tower all the way down while leaving the bimini canvas up. Yes, you can tow with this bimini up. So when you're getting off the water on a late night, having been at the lake all day long, you don't have to worry about first stowing the bimini and taking all that time to get it all wrapped up and put in its boot. It's all ready to go. All you have to do is drive onto the trailer and take off. Another feature of the Warrior Edition Ri230 is the lit Centurion badge. It is colored like the other vents and the A-pillar on the boat and lit up for everybody to see the fact that you are running a Centurion. This is also an option on any Ri. You can get it even outside the Warrior package. But with this Warrior package where you get that base color that differs on the deck from the hull, it really sets it off and looks great. But it's not just about beauty with the Ri230. We also have a lot of function built into this boat, the way that you're going to use this boat. For instance, the fuel fills that are on either side of the boat, which means no matter what side your tow vehicle fuels on, you can fill up at the pump with one pull-in. You don't have to flip the boat and truck around in order to fill up the vehicle on the other side or the boat on the other side. We've done that for your convenience, and it really does help get you to the lake faster. The other thing you've got as far as an option on this particular boat is bumper cleats. Bumper cleats plug in here, and they have 4 different locations, 2 on either side of the boat, where you can pop in a bumper. It's already tied to the perfect height for your dock, and you can pop it in when you're coming into dock. Make sure that the boat is protected as it needs to be, but when you're taking off again, you just pop them out and go. Put them in a specifically designed storage area that houses those little cleats so they stay in the right place, the right time, always easy to get to when you're docking. The other thing you can see behind me is a rear vent, and it's a fresh air vent. It's got the model designator Ri230 lit up in it. It's another one of the brand new Roswell vents that you see all over this Ri230. So I think we've established the boat is about beauty, but also about major accommodation. We've talked a lot about the exterior look of the Ri230, which is unmistakably beautiful. However, what this boat is truly about from the water level up is performance, specifically wake surf performance, wakeboarding performance, and great rough water ride. How do we make that happen? We do it with the running surface of this boat, the OptiV hull. It's essentially an optimized deep V hull. The significance of a deep V is typically to have a great rough water ride. The problem is, in a water sports boat, a deep V can tend to be side-to-side weight sensitive. In other words, it can lean depending on where people sit in the boat or how much weight is on one side to the other. And that lean changes the wetted surface of the boat and essentially affects your wave or wake negatively. We didn't want that, so we optimized it. We gave it lifting triangles that extend from the back corner of the transom all the way up towards the windshield that balance the boat from that side-to-side weight shift. What that gives you is a symmetrical wakeboard wake and an easily formed surf wave on either side, goofy or regular. Still, it does not compromise your rough water ride. I can still be at the lake on a really rough day on the water, sitting in the bow and be extremely comfortable and not get all shaken up because of the shock of the water. This deep V is optimized for your comfort and optimized for big wave and wake performance. As we move towards the back of the Ri230, beneath the swim step, you start to understand there's a lot going on. Well, that's because we offer a lot of features on the Ri230 that are maybe out of sight and out of mind on the water, but when you put this boat on a trailer, you can see them in all their glory. One of the most impactful features of the Ri230 is the Silent Stinger wake plate. This wake plate is, as it would suggest, a wake plate, which essentially changes the running attitude of the boat when you move it down. It gets the nose of the boat down. When you bring it up, it allows the nose of the boat to come up. That can help you for shaping your wave, for shaping your wakeboard wake, as well as for getting the nose down, the most aggressive part of the B, cutting through the chop on the water on a really rough day. But the other piece of it, the silent part, it's about making the interior of the boat quieter, even when you're underway. So how it does this is it forces water through the bottom of the plate when the boat is underway, and it tumbles that water through a series of baffles built inside the plate with the engine exhaust. What that does is it dampens the noise of the engine, so much so that the decibel level at the passenger seat is about 75 decibels, which, for comparison's sake, is about the noise level of a kitchen dishwasher. It's inside voice quiet. You've also got the Quick Surf Pro tabs on either corner underneath the swim step. This allows you to make a surf wave and move it from side to side. Actually, the ballast in the Ri230, as much as 5,400 pounds, displaces the hull and really makes that mass of water that creates the wave. But when we're talking about the curl of the wave and moving it from side to side, that's all quick surf. Essentially, the plate opposite the surf side goes down. It creates lift opposite the surf side, then displaces the surf corner to make that curl. You can transfer the wave back and forth from goofy to regular and back again in about 1.8 seconds. It's that fast. The other thing you'll notice under this swim step is something that I probably have to show you, but it's this available ladder. The ladder comes down and it allows you to grab on to tooled-in handles in the swim step itself and pull yourself up onto the swim step. I know I have a little bit of trouble, especially when there's no ballast in the boat, getting myself onto the swim step, even in the water, because this boat has a lot of freeboard built into it, a lot of height. When it is not loaded with ballast, the swim step sits out of the water a couple inches, and that can make it a little more difficult to get in the boat. But if you opt for that ladder, you'll be sitting pretty on top of the swim step. As I step up onto the swim step of the Ri230, I start to realize it's a pretty tall boat. It's a long way down there, but I'm pretty secure on this particular swim step. And not only is it functional and strong, it has a great look to it. This particular swim step, the way it is tooled, has handles tooled into it, so I have places to grab on and pull myself up onto the swim step. But it also has a roll-off towards the rear edge, which makes it easier to get on, as well as gives it a really cool look. This particular Ri230 also has a salute to service gator step scheme, which means it has the stars and stripes going all through the gator step, even on the swim step, which is also extremely beautiful. But there's a lot of function built in to the back of the boat where the sun pad area is too, and a lot of storage. So I've got a trunk back here that has an optional ballast bag in it, but it also can act like a trunk should, just as a trunk, and store my shoes or anything I don't want to get lost in storage areas that are throughout the boat on the inside, or something I have to have access to from the swim step. I've also got a stereo remote back here, a couple of cup holders, so I can hang out back here while the kids are swimming and have a good eye on them at any time. If I wanted a little more comfort, I could get myself back up to the sun pad here and flip up one of these lean backs and actually lounge a little bit watching the kids swim. So I've got a variety of places to sit. I've also got a walkover here, so if I want to walk from the swim step to the interior of the boat, I don't have to step on my upholstery, and it's also follows the whole gator step design of the entire boat. So just like the rest of the boat, the back of the boat is beautiful, it's functional, it's pretty comfortable as well. As I step into the Ri230, first of all, I notice how easy it is because I have a clear path with my walkover to get in to the boat. I even have a step down here that's fiberglass, gel coated, and has gator step on it that I can step on instead of stepping on my upholstery. But once I get into the boat, I realized this is a pretty big boat. I sit really down into the Ri230, which means it has a lot of freeboard. We do that with the boat typically because we have a lot of ballast in it, but we want to make sure that there's no opportunity for the water, the big water that ballast creates, to ever come onto the inside of the boat, either from the back or the bow. So we sit down in it, and it's very comfortable. The seat backs hit you at a really comfortable spot. It's very ergonomically correct or ergonomically comfortable. But also, you have room for 14 people in this lounge, and I can feel 14 people sitting in here with me now, and I've got room for all of their stuff at the same time. This is a really big 23-foot boat. The interior of the Ri230 is wrapped in Comfort Strong vinyl by Spradling. This vinyl is beautiful to look at. It's extremely comfortable to sit on, but it's also extremely resilient. It has a 17 mil top coat. What does that mean? It's got a protective coating, essentially, that protects it from all kinds of things, even the lights of UV rays and suntan lotion, and makes things easily wipeable as far as to get it off of this vinyl. We also offer this vinyl in two different textures, one of which is more of a flat grain texture, and the one you see here in this boat is the hex texture. The hex texture is definitely a little cooler in dark colors, but we also offer a third, not a texture necessarily in difference, but a new scheme, and it's a cool touch scheme, which is different vinyl, and it allows the darker pieces of that vinyl to dissipate heat better and essentially stay cooler on the water. So you can choose between all of those different types of vinyl, and there's 6 colors of cool touch. There's 16 colors between the hex and the regular Comfort Strong texture. So you've got lots of choice on the interior. But the way the vinyl is sewn together is probably the most impactful piece of the interior design when it comes to strength and longevity, as well as beauty. We use a Teflon thread. Yes, Teflon, so it's extremely tough. It's available in lots of different colors. You can choose to customize it for the look of your boat, but it also holds the pieces of vinyl together very, very well. It does that for a couple of reasons, because the thread itself is strong, but also because of the way we apply it. When we stitch two pieces of vinyls together, you'll be hard pressed to find an area of the boat where there's just a single stitch holding those two pieces of vinyl together. Typically, you'll find at the very least what we call a half stitch, which means it's sewn twice. And in a lot of areas of the boat, especially high stress areas on the cushion, you'll find a French seam, which is actually sewn 3 times. That means it's never going to come apart, and you're going to have a great lifetime to the interior of your Ri230. And while the cushions are beautiful to look at, they're extremely comfortable to sit on, and they're going to last you a long time in your boat, they shroud a very important element of the Ri230, storage. And I have access to storage underneath every single lounge seat in the Ri230. It allows me to put everything away, to get stuff off of the floor. Even though I've got a lot of people in this boat, I have a place for all of their stuff. Another level of customization that you'll find in the Ri230 is the floor. And there are 5 different schemes you can choose from with the Gator Step non-skid flooring design in this boat. You've got a single layer choice, which is a standard. You've also got a 2-layer Centurion cut, a 3-layer Centurion cut, a Warrior choice, and then what you see in this boat, which is our Salute to Service floor. This is a 3-layer floor. What that means is you can color each layer of Gator Step with 15 different color choices. So you can make the look of this floor, even though it's a standard Salute to Service scheme, you can make it look all your own. In this particular boat, we use shark fin on the top. It looks like we have the blue in the middle and a pearl on the bottom. It really highlights the Stars and Stripes design of Salute to Service, but as I mention quite often, the most important part to us about the Salute to Service flooring option, the Salute to Service wrap that we offer, as well as some other Salute to Service optional elements in these boats, is what they mean. and the fact that we want to pay tribute to the men and women of the armed forces as well as first responders, and we want to pay tribute to their service and their sacrifice, because we would not be allowed to live the lifestyle that we do and enjoy building these boats and using these boats on the water without what they have given up for us. Another interior option that you have as part of the RI Series Warrior Edition is the stitching design. You have choice of color on your stitching, no doubt, but you also have the choice between this topo stitch design and a two-tone stitch design, which means you introduce a second color of stitching into the stitch design of the boat. Now, this topo stitch is made to look like almost a topography map, but it's really cool. It has a lot of motion to it, and it gives you another custom element in the boat. You also have a lot of lit badges throughout the boat, these warrior badges, which are RGBW capable if you have that controller chosen, and you can change the coloring of it with your mood. The Ri230 comes standard with a 3-position slide seat. This seat starts out in the back of the lounge. It finishes off the lounge in the back. It can go to the center of the boat if you would like, for weight distribution or for positioning of your rear-facing or forward-facing lean backs. Or it can go all the way forward, and you can make kind of a smaller lounge with the helm of the boat. These lean backs are easily inserted and easily removed, and then they have a specific storage area in the OB where you can plug them in, and they're not floating around throughout these huge cavernous storage areas in the boat. You also have limo lighting that is mounted underneath the slide for the seat, so it gives that really luxurious limousine feel to the boat. You also have optional tables, so you can get a table in this boat that is color matched to your side panels, and it's got gator step on top of it, and it has a storage mechanism built into the bottom of it for the table leg that can plug into one of 4 different receptacles on the bottom of this slide seat, so you can put your table in whatever position you would like that's most convenient for how you and your family want to use the boat on any given day. The Predator Power Tower is available as an option on the Ri230 for 2025. It is also part of the Warrior Edition package. So this, being a Warrior Edition 2025 Ri230, has the Predator Power Tower. Now, we've talked a lot about what this tower does, the function it offers, but it's another thing to see it all in living color. You also have a lot of customization available for 2025 on the Predator Power Tower, some of which you can see here. So I have customizable tower shields, and these can be customized with 2 accent colors and a divider line that kind of splits it down the middle diagonally. You also have the ability to choose between a white or a black tower on the legs themselves. And then the center section of the tower above my head is available in 18 different colors. So you can color the center section on the top of the Predator Tower differently than the legs to add another layer of customization. And if you want to take the customization even further, you can custom color your Bombshell 2.0 racks, which also swivel in, but these racks are also available in 18 different colors. When you choose a color for the racks or for the center section of the Predator Power Tower or the vents and the A-pillar for that matter, it will all match one another. For instance, in this case, these are all stone gray racks, vents. If we had the center section of this tower colored, it would be stone gray as well. So the colors of those accessories will match each other, but you have a choice of 18 different colors in those areas. This rack is also special because of what it does. It swivels in so it allows you to load a surfboard. A surfboard as wide as 23 inches into each one of the tines, and it's definitely cushioned when it's in the rack. It gives it a lot of safety because it's got a lot of cushioning built into the rack itself. And when we spend so much money on those customizable surfboards, we want them to be safe. But you can also swivel the rack to this rear-facing position, which is great when you're trailering your Ri230 because less bugs collect on the rack when it's facing backwards. Then you can swivel it out again. It's very easy to do. The other thing that comes standard, and it's most appropriate on this Warrior Edition with the Salute to Service floor and the Salute to Service wrap, is flag holders on the bombshell rack. This particular rack offers you a place to fly your flags, whatever flags those may be, on the lake every time you're there. You also have some hangers for life vests that are wet, maybe towels, and you can hang them outside the boat so all the dripping happens in the water, not on the floor of your Ri230. The other thing that's customizable on the Predator Power Tower is the stereo system. As you can see behind me, this is the 12 Warriors sound system by Wet Sounds, and you've got 4 different horns above my head that are focusing back towards the rider and spilling the sound out the back of the boat, which is awesome to hear. But you also have a choice of 3 other stereo systems with this particular tower. You can choose Coverfire 2.0, Warrior 2.0, or the all-new Surround Fire sound system from Roswell. You can have any of those stereos, and they all have components that work with the Predator Power Tower. The other thing you might notice is the bimini, or the shade that's above my head. It covers almost the entire lounge of the Ri230. It is 9 feet long. It has a rigid frame and then a canvas that's cinched around it. This bimini does not have to be taken down to tow or even at higher rates of speed on the lake. This bimini stays up all the time, and that's the great thing about the Predator Power Tower is as you want to move your shade, you can raise the tower up and down. Even if you want to allow some light into the boat, it has kind of like T-tops or a little bit of a convertible up front where you can unzip 2 sections of the bimini and allow some of the sun to come in if you choose. The Predator Power Tower is extremely functional. There's nothing like it on the market. It's beautiful in its own right, but it also accepts so many options. You've got to check this tower out today. The observer area of the Ri230 is extremely accommodating. It's a big area of the boat, especially in a 23-foot boat, but it's also beautiful and has been made all new for 2025. You'll notice the first new element in the glove box lid. The glove box is now billet aluminum anodized black, and it has the RGBW capable lights built into it. So if you have the RGBW capable controller, you can make this colored light anything you want it to be. I've chosen red for this area of the boat because I feel like that goes the best. That's the mood I'm in right now. But we also have blue lights in other parts of the boat. You've also got a couple cup holders, and new for this year, I have a wireless clamping cell phone charger that is just for the passenger. Why should the driver be the only one to have a wireless clamping cell phone holder? That's just uncalled for. We need that in the observer area. We've also got an amazing storage area behind the OB seat. This storage area is so cavernous that it allows us to put as much gear as we want into it. The drawback used to be that we'd put all this gear in and then we'd have to turn our battery switch on and off. We no longer have to dig through all of that stowed gear to get to the isolator switch. Now we have a battery management system that's mounted in the glove box and allows you to truly isolate the 2 batteries. Your house battery to control things like your beautiful lights or your stereo system, and then the engine battery to crank the engine over to start it and allow you to run back to the dock or out to your next favorite surf spot. So that all happens in the glove box and is easily accessible now outside of the observer storage area. You also have a PDM breaker panel that's alongside the battery management system in the glove box that gives you quick and easy access again to your PDMs so that you can reset them if you happen to have a technical difficulty on the water. Normally you'll do that at the instruction of a tech, but now you don't have to dig through all the different storage areas where the other PDMs are located to get to those switches. Other than that, the observer area is just great because of what it is. It's a comfortable seat. You can sit here, it's wide, you have plenty of room. I have a speaker next to me here, a grab handle if the driver gets crazy and I need to hold on. but I've also got access to my cup holders behind me, and I'm sheltered from the wind because I'm behind the vented windshield from Centurion, also sheltered from the water if it happens to be a rough day on the water. But this area of the boat is extremely accommodating, and you can even have the option of another rear-facing flip-up seat here. So the observer isn't the only one that gets to face the action behind the boat. You can have another flip-up seat in front of the observer and someone else facing that rider, seeing that next great trick they're about to accomplish. So the accommodation in the Ri230 is unmatched, especially in the observer's area. But the observer seat can't be the only fun place to sit in the Ri230. And for that reason, we want to have a few other rear-facing seats, one of which is right behind the driver. This optional rear-facing seat allows another passenger to sit back, have the perfect view of the rider in tow, and have access to cup holders, even a wireless clamping cell phone charger, all to myself. And I've got a cool looking lit Centurion Warrior badge, as well as my lit speakers. This position in the boat is pretty lit. The captain's seat in the Ri230 is amazing. Well, for the fact that I'm sitting in front of this brand new Ri Series dash, which gives me huge screens, 14 inches side by side, and it gives me a great viewpoint of the water in front of me in spite of how large this dash is. But what's really accommodating about this area of the boat is the seat itself. This is a Cobra racing seat. It has a high back. It has sides that come up and kind of hug you into place and keep you safe and secure while you're controlling this Ri230. But it's got a lot of function built into it too. I can swivel around and talk to any one of the other 13 passengers in the boat. I can swivel towards my ice chest here in the floor, grab a drink for somebody in the back. I can also be facing straight forward, maybe even towing a rider. And if I need to look back quickly, I can throw a leg over, and there's this neat little cut in the seat that allows me, without swiveling the seat itself, to look back at my rider, make sure everything is okay, and then I'm right back around with my eyes on the water in front of me. The captain's chair in the Ri230 is probably, I know I say it all the time, but it's my favorite seat in the boat. The captive side-by-side touch vision dash from Centurion is all new for 2025, and it makes its presence known in this Ri230. The dash is a big dash, mainly because the screens are big. They're 14 inches side by side. That's measured on the diagonal. But you have so much viewing area of all of the different systems of the boats. I can utilize my ROV system, which is my range of view system. I can see my trip data. I can see how much fuel I've used so far, how many hours, let's see, gallons per hour that I'm burning. I can also see how long it takes me in fuel to get to a certain map point, and I can then determine how much fuel it's going to take me to get back. I always have that information at my fingertips with the Ri230. I can also view the bow camera in front of me. I can view the transom camera behind me. I have a range of view with this particular system in the Ri230. I also have a great, easily navigable menu. It's a 6-choice menu on my right side screen, and I can choose between my surf system. I can choose my lighting, of which, if I have the RGBW controller installed, I can pick between a whole spectrum of colors, and I can color each area that's RGBW capable in the Ri230 independent of one another. I can color the interior lights one color. I can color the speaker lights another color. In this particular boat right now, I have blue speaker lights and red interior lights. I can also flip-flop that. I can color the tower speakers different from each of those. I can color my underwater lights, which are optional and RGBW capable, different as well. So I have a lot of colorable control in this Ri230. I can also get to know what position I'm in on the lake because I have standard mapping. When you purchase an Ri230, you get the United States and Canada standard as far as all of the mapping of the lakes. And not only can I see the topography of the land beneath the water, I can also see where I am in relation to a cove, in relation to a marina. That helps me out a great deal on the water. I have control of my stereo system. I can Bluetooth the phone very easily through the captive dash. I also have either in-depth control over my ballast, or I can fill it all or drain it all from a screen that we have for the ballast menu. All of this function is built into this new dash system, but it doesn't encompass all of it. So the other thing that is really, really cool for 2025 is there's now heater vents built into the dash. So I don't know if you know, but typically the driver tends to get one little bitty heater vent that's mounted underneath the dash and barely blows on your feet. And on a cold day, that's just not fair. So what we've done is built in 4 vents into the dash that blow hot air on the driver when it's cool outside, mind you. A couple of them focus on your hands, which is great for a really cold day, and the others really get you right about neck to head level, which really keep you warm on a cool day on the water. You also have a wireless clamping cell phone charger, so you can have your phone always at an arm's length away. I also have my stereo face mounted into my dash. So my stereo face allows me a touch screen to control my tunes, to control my EQ, so I can make sure that my stereo is sounding just as good as it can. But I also have the ability to use a volume knob. Yes, children, an analog volume knob. So I can turn the music down very quickly, especially if I'm circling back around to pick up a fallen rider. I don't have to worry about trying to figure out where my volume control is and making sure it's low enough so I can hear the rider in the water talking to me. I can just grab that volume knob, turn it down, make sure there's nothing wrong or no immediate attention that they need, get them the rope, circle back around, and we're up again surfing. It's that easy. The other thing that the driver has access to is the vented windshield door. So this is kind of like the AC in the Ri230. I can open this door and get great wind flow through and behind the windshield. When it's a really hot day on the water, you definitely want that flow. And sometimes you need to keep the door of the windshield closed. So opening up these little doors in the corners really gets you a breeze, which is super, super nice on a really hot day. And yeah, I'm not finished yet. So the other thing I've got to talk about is the throttle console, which is also all new for 2025 in the Ri series boats. You've got this lit Centurion logo right above the throttle handle, which is beautiful and RGBW capable, but I have a whole new throttle that also has lighting built into it. And probably my favorite part, and I know I'm a little boring, but this is the control piece of it. The armrest for the throttle is perfectly positioned this year. The throttle, it allows me to have my hand at the same level as my arm itself, resting securely on the armrest, and I can have great control of the throttle when I need it. All of these elements wrapped up into the captive dash from Centurion, and it gives you the ultimate control on the water, no matter what you are doing, where you are going, cruising, pulling a rider. It's all going to give the driver the control that they need. We've talked a lot about the Predator Power Tower that's available on the Ri series of boats from Centurion. But how do you control that tower? Well, let me show you. You can do it right here at the right knee of the driver, and it's a very simple rocker switch, and it's got arrows on it. The up arrow makes the tower go up. The down arrow makes the tower go down. It happens in about 20 seconds in each direction. It's a very fast and smooth motion, but the driver has control of it all. Another level of control that the driver has in the Ri230 is right here at the steering wheel. Now, yes, the steering wheel is beautiful and gives you all kinds of control, but what I'm speaking about are the sport shifters right behind it. The sport shifters control the stinger wake plate, in this boat's case, the silent stinger wake plate on the left-hand side. And then on the right-hand side, it controls your set speed for zero off speed control. So all you have to do is pull the paddle towards you, and you can increment or increase the amount of plate you're giving, or you can decrease it by pulling the bottom paddle to you, just with a couple fingers. So I never have to take my eyes off the water. It's the same story on the right side with the speed. I can increment my speed or go faster by pulling the top paddle towards me with a couple fingers, and go slower by pulling the bottom paddle towards me. It's that simple. I never have to take my eyes off the water, and I never have to relinquish control, just the way I like it. Not only does the driver have easy access to the ice chest that's in the floor, I also have really easy access to the walk-through trash chute. Yes, and as a mom, this is one of my favorite features of the boat because I can always have a spot to throw away what needs to go away, and it's out of sight, out of mind. As you might know, the Ri230 is a walk-through open bow. What does that mean? It means that there is no obstruction and I can easily walk through to the bow. Now I know that may not seem like a big deal, but in a lot of boats you have a walk-through and you kind of have to turn sideways, shimmy your way through. It's not as open as you'll find in the Ri series of boats. But once I get into the bow, I realize, man, this is a comfortable place to sit. And it's even comfortable when you're out on a rough day on the water. Yes, because of that Opti-V hull, this gives me a really smooth place to sit up in the bow. But I also have access to a lot of cool stuff in the bow of the Ri230. I have optional armrests that can come out and give me just a place to really relax and lounge by having my arm rest on those. But I've also got cup holders available here. I have power points, speakers, grab handles. There's even a step down in the center of the bow. So if you happen to beach your boat and you're boarding the boat from the bow, you can step onto a really flat spot on the top of the deck that is gator stepped so it's not slippery, and then step down onto a fiberglass gel coated piece that also has gator step on it. So you're not stepping down onto your upholstery, especially with dirty shoes from the beach. You also have this new standard filler cushion. Now in RIs, you get this filler cushion standard. So you can make this area of the boat a playpen, or you can take this filler cushion out, store it away, leave it at the dock, and make this area of the bow a lounge. It's really up to you. It's made to be versatile. It's made to be comfortable. It's extremely beautiful, and yeah, I mean, it could be my favorite place to sit in the boat, but I don't know. I have more control in the driver's seat, so the jury's still out. I hope you've enjoyed learning about the really incredible 2025 Ri230, but don't take my word for it. Visit your local Centurion Boats dealer today and let us prove it to you on the water.